Welcome, folks. Today we're starting with CNN, the network that once called itself the most trusted name in news, now reduced to breathlessly reporting on Elon Musk's joke username like it's the Pentagon Papers. These are the same people who spent years running cover for every corrupt politician with a D next to their name, but suddenly Harry Bolz is the existential crisis keeping them up at night.
Now, the disruptor-in-chief, Elon Musk, who apparently has adopted the alias, at least he changed his social media handle to Harry Bolz, tweeted this morning, "Democracy in America is being destroyed by judicial coup. An activist judge is not a real judge."
Ah, yes, CNN, the network that spends half its time screeching about disinformation and the other half proving they have no self-awareness, is now clutching its pearls over Elon Musk's X handle. You think he leaked state secrets or launched a coup? Nope. Just made a middle school level joke. And these clowns are reacting like he scrawled it on the Lincoln Memorial. Now, let's unpack their meltdown. First, we get the classic CNN tactic, smugly calling Musk a disruptor like it's a bad thing. The man literally disrupted electric vehicles, private space travel, and social media censorship. But yeah, let's pretend he's some random internet troll instead of the guy NASA calls up when they need a lift. Meanwhile, these serious journalists are the same people who spent weeks dissecting Trump's Diet Coke habits like it was a Rosetta Stone. Their priorities are so backwards, I'm shocked they don't need GPS to find their own offices. Then there's the real pearl clutching. Musk's tweet about the judiciary. He called out activist judges hijacking the system, and CNN reacted like he just confessed to a war crime. How dare he question the integrity of the courts? Says the same network that spent years screaming illegitimate every time the Supreme Court made a decision they didn't like. When the left loses a case, it's a threat to democracy. When conservatives get steamrolled by a partisan judge, it's just justice. Funny how that works. And of course, the grand finale, CNN's dead serious discussion about the name Harry Bolz. The way they report it, you think Musk legally changed his name and started signing White House executive orders with it. These people have the collective sense of humor of a funeral home. The whole point was to be absurd, and CNN, like the humorless hall monitors they are, immediately lined up to report it with the solemnity of a hostage video. Imagine having to look your audience in the eye and seriously discuss whether Harry Bolz poses a threat to democracy. I'd quit journalism at that point. Now, we all know CNN isn't a news network. It's a daycare for liberals who need a safe space for mean tweets. If there's a Pulitzer for turning nothing into a hysteria, they're already writing their acceptance speech. Meanwhile, Musk is out here running multi-billion-dollar companies, improving government efficiency, launching rockets, and grabbing them with chopsticks, while their biggest accomplishment this week is managing to say Harry Bolz without laughing on air. But sure, he's the unserious one.
He changed his Twitter ID to like a juvenile joke earlier today, and then...
Yeah, he likes that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not offended. It's just stupid.
Well, you've got it. I mean, I think the thing is he's underneath all that. He's quite a crafty and strategic person. And so some of it is performative. Some of it is deep insecurity. Some of it is he likes the power.
Jake Tapper and Kara Swisher, ladies and gentlemen, the dynamic duo of dead air and smug nothingness. They're here to bravely take on the existential crisis of our time. Elon Musk changing his X username to Harry Bolz. Sure. Let's analyze the psychological depths of a billionaire making a joke. That's definitely what the country needs right now. CNN playing armchair therapist over a pun. Let's start with Tapper's stunning insight. He changed his Twitter ID to like a juvenile joke, and then yeah, he likes that. Wow. Incredible journalisming. Pulitzer incoming. This man is paid millions to state the obvious with the energy of a sedated house cat. You can tell he's dying to be offended, but knows that losing his mind over the word balls would make him look like even more of a joke than he already is. So instead, he settles for performative boredom. The classic CNN move. Spend 5 minutes talking about something, then act like they're above it. And then there's Swisher, who rolls in with her usual, let me pretend to have deep psychological insight routine. He's quite a crafty and strategic person. Some of it is performative. Some of it is deep insecurity. Some of it is he likes the power. Translation, I have no actual point, but I need to say something vaguely intellectual so my audience thinks I know what I'm talking about. It's the oldest trick in the hack pundit playbook. Throw out a bunch of vague psychoanalysis with no proof and let the audience fill in the blanks. It's like a psychic reading for people who think MSNBC is too moderate. And let's talk about the real insecurity here. Because you know who looks deeply insecure? A panel of legacy media fossils dissecting a joke like it's just a Bruder film because they cannot stand the fact that Musk refuses to take them seriously. That's the real problem, isn't it? These people are used to having total control over the public narrative, and now one dude with a phone can humiliate them in real time. Musk plays them like a fiddle, and instead of learning a new tune, they just keep doubling down on their same sad, out-of-touch whining. So what's the grand conclusion here? Well, Musk made a joke, CNN had a tantrum disguised as analysis, the world keeps spinning, and these clowns keep proving why nobody watches them anymore. The funniest part, Musk isn't even trying. If this is how they react to hairy balls, imagine what would happen if he actually tried to break them. At this rate, he could change his name to Bend Over, and Tapper would host a town hall. And speaking of town halls, the Democrats have been hosting protests pretty much every day against Trump and Elon Musk, and they keep getting increasingly more bizarre, including this one where this representative said this.
I've been told I have 30 seconds, so I am going to tell you that we do have to. I don't swear in public very well, but we have to fuck Trump. Please don't tell my children that I just did that.
Well, there it is, folks. Political genius at work. A sitting congresswoman, a fully grown adult with a taxpayer-funded salary, just stood up in public and declared, we have to fuck Trump. That's it. That's her grand strategy. No policy, no argument, just raw, unfiltered, bottom shelf rage. And then right on cue, she realizes mid-meltdown that she sounds like an unhinged lunatic and tries to walk it back with, please don't tell my children I just said that. Oh, don't worry, Congresswoman. Your kids already know you're an embarrassment. The rest of us are just catching up. Let's dissect this political train wreck. First, we've got the classic forced edginess. You can practically hear her internal monologue. Okay, I need to sound strong, passionate. Oh, I know, I'll cuss like the cool kids do. It's like watching your out-of-touch aunt shotgun a White Claw at Thanksgiving to prove she's still hip. The problem, if you have to announce you're about to swear, I don't swear in public very well, you've already lost. Then there's the actual statement. We have to fuck Trump. Okay, and then what? Buy him breakfast? Cuddle? Take him to a nice steakhouse? What's the game plan here? Because this is some weird Freudian thing happening. And I think the entire country would like to be excluded from this narrative. Also, just a heads up, if your party's message boils down to we're completely obsessed with this man to the point where we're screaming about him in inappropriate ways, you're probably not helping your case that he's a crazy one. And let's be real, this is peak modern leftist energy. Empty outrage, zero substance, and a complete lack of self-awareness. If Trump is so terrible, if he's so over and irrelevant, why are they still out here having emotional breakdowns over him like a psycho ex who just saw his new girlfriend's Instagram? For a guy they claim to hate, they sure can't stop thinking about him. It's like he lives in their heads rent-free, except at this point, he owns the building, the lot next door, and probably has plans to put up a golf course. Bottom line, this isn't politics, this isn't even activism, it's therapy, group therapy for Democrats who still wake up in a cold sweat thinking about 2016. The only difference is, instead of paying a psychotherapist, they're making you foot the bill while they have public meltdowns that accomplish nothing. If this is their battle plan for the midterms in 2026, Trump and the Republicans don't even have to try. They just have to sit back, let Democrats self-destruct, and maybe send them a thank you card after the fact. Oh, but if you thought that was bizarre, it gets even worse, because this is what Democrats did in the same rally.
Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Tell me, which side are you on? Which side are you on? We'll fight against George. We'll fight Elon Musk. No Elon's kept within our walls. We'll fight from dawn to dusk. Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Tell me, which side are you?
Oh, great. The Democrats are singing again, because nothing screams serious political movement like a bunch of Karens chanting like they just joined a doomsday cult. Which side are you on? They howl in unison, demanding absolute loyalty like a medieval witch trial, except instead of pitchforks, they have soy lattes and blue hair dye. It's less political rally and more cringeworthy summer camp for emotionally unstable blue sky addicts. Now, let's analyze this masterpiece of intellectual thought. First, the rhetorical technique here is forced tribalism. Which side are you on? Notice how there's no room for independent thought, no policy debate, no room for nuance. Either you're with them or you're an enemy of the state. This is the North Korea approach to political discourse, except instead of Kim Jong-un, their supreme leader is a mashup of AOC, Rachel Maddow, and a Vox intern with an emotional support ferret. Then there's the list of villains. We'll fight against Doge, we'll fight against Elon Musk. Wait, hold up. Doge? Are they seriously declaring war on Musk's Department of Government Efficiency? Whoa, way to brand yourselves as corrupt, Democrats. Good job. I guess nothing terrifies these people more than the idea of the government actually working. Then there's Elon Musk, the real threat to democracy, according to these clowns. The man revolutionized space travel, made electric cars mainstream, and literally revived free speech on social media. But sure, let's pretend he's some Bond villain plotting world domination from his X account. These people are treating him like he's Emperor Palpatine because he refuses to stop exposing the government corruption, all the millions and billions of dollars we've been sending out for Democrat pet projects around the world. Oh no, the billionaire is actually going to hold us accountable. The horror. Meanwhile, their own party is spending tens of millions of dollars to fund trans musicals in Latin America, but yeah, Doge and Elon are the existential crisis we need to chant about. And then we get the peak of their dramatic nonsense. No evil escape within our walls. Oh, that's rich. This from the same crowd that defended literal criminals burning down cities because it was an expression of pain. These are the same people who push for open borders while claiming anyone worried about actual criminals is just being racist. But sure, they're the guardians of morality. Their moral compass doesn't just point south. It's doing backflips while on fire. But my personal favorite part, will fight from dawn to dusk. Fighting what? Their own collapsing cities, the fentanyl epidemic they ignore, the mental breakdowns happening within their own voter base? Oh no, none of that. Their big mission is fighting the guy with the big brain over on Doge. That's America's real problem. Honestly, the Democrats aren't even a political party anymore. It's a live-action Tumblr post. They're not here to govern. They're here to throw tantrums, chant meaningless slogans, and LARP like they're in Les Miserables. And the funniest part, they think this makes them look strong. They think this weird cult energy is powerful, but to the rest of us, this is just further proof that the modern left has nothing left. No ideas, no policies, no leadership, just deranged screeching and a soundtrack straight out of Idiocracy. Doubt me? Well, check our next clip. What the hell? Ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you that activism has hit rock bottom and then started gnawing at the floorboards like a rabid possum. Anti-forestry protesters have officially abandoned logic, persuasion, or even basic human dignity, opting instead to roll around on the floor and scream like dying coyotes in the middle of a public meeting. That's right. Their grand strategy for stopping timber sales isn't data, isn't debate, isn't even an angry change.org petition. It's full-blown mental breakdown live and in surround sound. Now let's dissect this absolute train wreck. First, we have the emotional manipulation, because when you have no facts, the best thing is to shriek like you've been gut shot in a horror movie and hope people feel too uncomfortable to keep talking. It's like a toddler throwing a tantrum in Walmart, except these aren't toddlers. These are full-grown adults who somewhere along the way decided this was the best use of their time. They're not making a point. They're making everyone in the room regret being alive. And the logic behind this, non-existent. These people are literally equating tree harvesting with the violent death of a living creature. No, seriously. That's the metaphor they're going with. Newsflash, loggers aren't sneaking into the woods at night to grow innocent deer. They're cutting trees, which, by the way, are replanted because timber is one of the most renewable industries on the planet. But no, according to these woodland meth fairies, chopping down a pine tree is basically a war crime. And let's talk about the tactical effectiveness of this. Do they really think that some forestry official sitting there in a suit is hearing this and going, oh my God, I was in favor of logging. But now that I've seen Karen from Portland rolling around and howling like she just got a shotgun blast to the ribs, I'm rethinking everything. Nope. If anything, this guarantees that everyone in the room will approve logging out of spite. If I were running that meeting, I'd be making a personal donation to Big Lumber just to ensure these lunatics get nowhere near a victory. But the best part, these people will probably drive home in their wood-framed houses, text about their bravery from their smartphones, and sleep under a roof made of the very thing they were just shrieking about. Because that's what modern activism is. Performative, insufferable, and completely detached from reality. It's not about solving problems, it's about getting attention and feeling morally superior while accomplishing absolutely nothing. Look, if your best strategy for change involves acting like an exorcism gone wrong, you don't have an argument, you have a spectacle. One that's not convincing anyone except other people who also think that flopping around on the ground and screeching is a legitimate political statement. So, to these protesters, if you actually want to save the trees, maybe try using your words instead of imitating roadkill, because right now the only thing dying at these meetings is your dignity. At what point do we stop pretending this is serious? When did activism become a performance art for the emotionally unstable rather than a pursuit of real change? We live in an era where facts are replaced with feelings. Debate is drowned out by screeching, and public tantrums are mistaken for moral authority. And the worst part, they expect you to nod along, to validate the absurdity, to treat these embarrassing spectacles as legitimate political discourse. But ask yourself, who benefits when logic is abandoned? When reason is ridiculed? When activism becomes nothing more than a chaotic spectacle? It's certainly not the cause they claim to fight for. So maybe it's time we stop humoring this nonsense. Maybe it's time we start demanding competence over theatrics, facts over feelings, and adults over whatever the hell that was. Because the more we tolerate the circus, the closer we get to living in a world where the loudest screamer wins. And that's a dystopia no one should want. Anyway, you tell me what you think in the comments down below. Hope you have a terrific day. Peace.